Hello and welcome. Tory Robson here, Chiropractor, Winner's Edge Chiropractic Success Video Series, going to the most successful chiropractors around the world. Here's the topic for today, and that's missed appointments. There's no question that the most successful practices in history and the most successful practices in the future have certain fundamentals. All those practices have certain things that are always there. Of course, they've got a location, they've got a great layout, they've got a great team, they've got a great schedule, they've got a team meeting, they've got goals set, they've got their financial flow in order, they have their scripting, promotion, all these other things, of course, are in place. But at the core of really getting results and really getting people to stay with you for a long time is appointment making and handling missed appointments. So there's a few things I want to go over here as it relates to this I think you're going to find super important. The first thing we have to remember now is there are reminder calls. Okay, so we've got reminder calls. Then, of course, we have missed appointment calls. We have those calls, okay? And then beyond that, number 3 here on my list of notes, of course, are recalls. 3 separate calls. One that's ahead of the game, one that's immediate in the moment it happens, and then, of course, recalls down the road to try to reactivate people. So we have 3 different types of calls, and we must be experts at all of these. Tell me how many phone calls are going out of a chiropractic office, and I'll tell you how successful they are. All right? So, first thing is this. If we have a lot of missed appointments, it's because the initial appointment making isn't very good. So let me go over some of the key points to making smart appointments. Many chiropractors want to pre-schedule visits. Why? So they can miss half of them? It's just not that effective. You might have a computer that can do that, but here's what has to still happen. The doctor must for sure confirm the next appointment. So number 1 here is the DC confirms the next appointment. Okay? See you Monday, John. John, we're going to get 3 days next week. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll see you Friday. Have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. So the doctor has to say and has to know this. This is why being aware of the patient's care plan, where they're at in their visits, the doctor has to know this. The real high-level office with volume and all this stuff, okay, has great appointment making because the doctor knows where the patient is in the course of their care and is able to make accurate next appointment days, okay, or a number of times in the week. So this is number 1. If you, the chiropractor, are not saying this or getting this locked in, it's going to be an uphill battle, okay? The next thing that has to happen is number 2, the CA then, of course, confirms and sets this appointment, all right? Now, here are some of the key things as it relates to CAs, is the appointment is made by the CA. We don't want to be giving reminder cards all the time because it takes a lot of time. So we want to make sure that we make the appointment, and here's what we want the CA to do. Here's the key. The CA has to say this. Bill, we've got you down for 4 o'clock tomorrow. Do you promise to call if you need to change or cancel that appointment? The CA asks the patient if they will promise to call if they need to change, move, or do whatever with that appointment. And that person will say yes. Now, when they say yes, people tend to be consistent. Okay, if a person says, yes, I promise, and then they don't, it's okay. If you can get them to say yes, when you say that, there's a great likelihood that you're going to get better conformity from the patient. Okay? The next high-level point is this. When the patient goes up front and the CA sets that appointment or confirms their next appointment, John, we've got you down same time Wednesday, okay? Or, hey, we're going to have you in tomorrow at 4 o'clock, all right? Let's get you scheduled for Tuesday. How about 4 o'clock, possibly 5 o'clock? You get them scheduled. And I'm not going to go over all the language. It's always, let's do this. It's never, did you want to schedule? Okay, that's a topic for another time. Never use the D word. Okay, so we're making the appointment and you want the CA to do this. You want the CA to tap the patient somewhere between wrist and shoulder when they ask for the patient's compliance. John, do you promise to give us a call if you need to change or move that appointment? If you touch the patient as if to say, I'm serious about this, I'm watching to make sure that you make your visits, you get dramatically higher compliance. So the doctor makes the appointment, CA reiterates, gets the appointment set, says, hey, do you promise to give us a call if you need to change or move that? And to take it to a new level, depending on the front desk arrangement, it can be very, very gentle. Do you promise to call if you need to change or move that appointment? And it'll be incredible. Just as when the patient leaves the doctor, it's great job today. That's just what you needed. Okay? We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay? We got to make sure we get 2 days in next week. I look forward to seeing you Friday. So you touch the patient between shoulder and wrist as you make the statement of when the next appointment is. What I'm describing to you is so high level that I don't even know where to begin. It would take a lot of time to explain. When you go to say something to a patient, make a visit, make your next appointment, refer somebody in, whatever the case is, and you can tap them as you do it and anchor it to their body. Great job, Tory. We'll see you tomorrow. That's why you want to tell all your friends to come in. That's why it's so important you make all your visits, John. You touch them, and it activates and makes all of this so much more powerful. So as the patient's leaving, see you tomorrow, John. And then the person goes up front, CA says, great, got you down for 4 o'clock tomorrow. By the way, do you promise to call if you need to change and move that appointment? And you've got them. So it's the doctor doing a good job and the CA doing a good job. Too often, the doctor's doing a crummy job, and then they're calling me saying, I need to get my CA better at missed appointment calls and reminders and all that. No, it's you. You set the tone. The CA simply follows up and gets the appointment actually put in the book, all right, and makes their statement of authority here. Do you want to, do you promise? Do you promise? Do you promise? All right. So enough on those two components. Then, if need be, if the patient doesn't know what they can do, well, I don't have my schedule, I don't know. Well, then you simply do this. You simply say, well, I'm going to put you down for 4 o'clock on Wednesday, and I'll give you a reminder call that day. Done. So every single person that leaves, 100%, every person that leaves every day has an appointment in the book when they leave. The appointment's either very solid or they weren't sure and you put their name in anyway and you put a little note to call them. Either they're a different color in your computer or they get a little R next to their name in a paper book. You have to make the note to call them. All right? So everybody who leaves is solid. Their appointment is solid or it's there with a reminder call to make it solid. Okay? Critical point right there, so make sure that's the case. Now, reminder calls are made in the morning, before the morning. They can be made in the afternoon for the afternoon people. They can be made in the morning for the entire day. They can be made in the evening for people the next day. If you have a doctor that's making good appointments and the CA is following through, then you won't have a whole lot of reminder calls to make. But a handful of reminder calls are key. Okay, reminder calls, reminder calls, reminder calls. You'll never go wrong by having reminder calls. I want to make a point on online scheduling. Some people want to have I'm looking at the computer screen here, online scheduling. No, because if they can schedule, they can cancel. And you never want people to be able to just go in and cancel without actually talking to you if there's any way possible to do that. All right, now there's something I want to say here, and then I'm going to get into the actual missed calls themselves. Is this. The single most valuable thing that you can do to avoid missed appointments or reduce your missed appointments. And by the way, it's traditional that around 10% of the people in a day will miss or have to reschedule. So if I've got 132 scheduled in the day, there's going to be 10 to 15 people that are going to miss, reschedule, or otherwise. Now I can have, say, another 10 to 15 walk-ins, and I can still end up with my 132 for the day. So you always want to think like that. Whoever I miss, around 10%, I will regain with walk-ins. Get that into your mind. This video, if all you heard was that, would be valuable. All right? So now the next thing is, if you really want to have much fewer missed appointments, is do something people like. If they come in my office and they like what happens, they like my touch, they like my table-side manner, they like my personality, they like my CA, they like the office, they like the location, they like the way the place smells, they like the music, they like seeing their friends in here, whatever. If people like it, they will want to be there. It's hard to get people to go someplace they don't like. Oh, I have to go there because I got this pain in my leg. They're going to go for a while and you'll never see them again. But if they like it, they like the way it feels, they like the result, they like you, they just like the experience, okay? From when they arrive at your office, every moment they're there to when they leave, if they have more pluses than negatives, okay, and they like it, well then you've got it made. If a chiropractor has lots of people missing and they always got to try to get new ones, it's because people don't like what the chiropractor is doing. They don't like it. They don't like the spaghetti sauce. So the place has to continually advertise to get more people in to try the sauce until they discover they don't like it, and then you got to replace them with more new people. Whereas if you have killer sauce, you get a lot of people coming back because they like your sauce. Chiropractic is exactly the same way. It's ridiculously simple. So now let's move into the actual missed calls. Now, if we have a person that misses, what we have to understand is this, is who missed? Is it a good long-term person that's been seeing you for years and they've prepaid for 52 visits and they just missed their regular visit? Is it a person that's been a good long-term person and they're making an automated monthly payment and they missed a visit? Is it a Medicare person that missed a visit? Is it a brand new PI that missed the visit to come back for their report of findings? Is it a workers' comp that's on their 8th or 10th visit and they miss it? Is it a person that just started care and they have regular insurance and let's say they're paying per visit, if you even allow that in your office, and they missed? See, who missed? People will call and say, Tory, what do I do for missed appointments? Oh, I don't know, who missed? A person who's prepaid for 100 visits for them and their entire family? Or is it a brand new car accident patient who missed their 3rd visit? Who is it? Because every one of them requires a different approach. All right? Let me go over a couple of the foundational approaches here. Number one is if it's a good long-term person, this is going to be such a light call. Bill, had you down for 4 o'clock today. We're just going to put you in for tomorrow at the same time. If you need to change and move it, just let us know. So it's always this. It's always light. It's always happy. And you always, if you can, automatically reschedule it for them. Tomorrow at the same time. Let's go tomorrow at the same time. So if it's in the morning, you try to get them scheduled for the afternoon. If it's afternoon, you try to get them into the same time the next day. And you write their name and put it right in the book with a reminder call. Okay? Next morning, Bill, as you remember, I put you down for today at 4 o'clock. Hopefully you can make it. If not, just let me know. Have a great day. Click. Quick, light, simple, fast calls. I'm telling you, this is the difference between seeing 250 a week and seeing 300 a week right here. Okay? It's great appointment making, great reminder calls, great missed calls. Okay? Now, let's say my different types of people here. Let's say it is a new patient that missed for their report. Well, obviously something is dramatically wrong, but it's still the same thing. John, we had you down for the doctor to go over your findings today at 3:30. Let's go ahead and get that rescheduled. Tomorrow at the same time will work. In fact, I'm just going to pencil your name in. I'll give you a reminder call in the morning. See? You always have control. You make the next appointment. Okay? And then say that you'll make a very nice light reminder call. The key here is to be happy and light. If any person feels scolded, they will never go back. If the dog, okay, comes back to your house and you scold it for running away, why would it even come back to your house? I know it's hard, but you have to love and praise the dog. Good boy, that's my boy. Okay? Then that dog will say, wow, I get praised when I go back home. I like going back home. So every single time a person walks in the door, we're happy to see them, we're excited. Every time we make a call, we keep it light, we keep it upbeat, even though we want to scold people, but you can't because it'll burn them and it'll turn them and they won't want to come in and see you anymore. All right? So we have the two basic types of calls. Number one, are they a good long-term person, very light, still go ahead and work to reschedule automatically with a reminder call? And are they a newer person, a newer PI, a newer work comp, a newer Medicare, a newer person with insurance, a new person that's in, and they make that first miss? We've got to be on the spot to make that call, and then we know from that point forward that the doctor's got to be sharp when they make the appointment, when the patient leaves. The CA's got to be sharp because we've got someone who's not going to be super reliable, and you're always going to have a percentage of those. So it's always light call. Hey, we had you down this morning. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get you in. We'll be here between 3 and 6 this afternoon. Otherwise, I'm just going to pencil you in tomorrow at the same time. I'll give you a reminder call in the morning. See, automatically tell, automatically put them in. You take the responsibility to call them versus we had you down. We'd like to try to get that rescheduled. Will you call us and you're waiting for them to call? No, you just say, we're going to put you down for tomorrow at the same time. If you need to change your movement, then give us a call. I'll give you a reminder call in the morning. See, we want to have control. We make the appointment. We have the reminder call. We make the reminder call. If they miss, we can have another light call and that's it. So there's like a 2-call max on this. And if after the 2 calls we don't really see them, then their name goes on the recall list. So number 1 is DC makes a great appointment. Number 2, CA confirms. Okay, touch from shoulder to wrist to get that anchoring. Number 3, if there's a miss, of course, we call right away and we automatically reschedule it. Where we reschedule, we make another reminder call. We don't make more than 2 calls. If there's more than 2, they go on our recall list. And that's a whole video training for another point in time. All right. So the rules, be super nice. Rule number 2, of course, the dog philosophy. Rule number 3, a whiny CA with any sort of tone that's scolding will never work. If you have a voice that sounds like that, you can't be the one making any phone calls. It's got to be light and be nice, and you're cool, you're happy. We've got so many people coming in that it doesn't matter anyway, but we care about you, so we thought we would give you a call, okay? And we keep it super optimistic. We give them a little bit of credit. We do not come down on them. We're not their parents. But yes, at the same time, it's 100% our responsibility to get people to follow through with their plans. It's 100% our responsibility to make sure people keep the appointments as much as we have control. Okay, and we do have quite a bit of control. All right. Results come from compliance. So we want patients to know if the CA is ever backed into the corner, it's always this. Hey, my job is to see to it that you get the best results possible. And the best results always come from making your visits. So it's my job to do what I can to make sure you make your visits. We do this because we care. We do this because we want to see you be at the highest level of health possible. So when you come at this from the perspective of we're here to help you, we're here to see you get the best results, we're here to see you, okay, maximize your benefit here. That is why we confirm the appointment. That's why we make some reminder calls. That's why we call you and make sure if you miss that we get you back in the book, because we want to see you do your best. We want to see you benefit from chiropractic care forever. We want to see your friends and family be referred in, and you can be assured that we're going to make sure that they keep their appointments and they get the best results possible also. See, when you're good at making appointments, the CA is good at making appointments, you're good with reminder calls, you're very good with your missed calls. If that doesn't work, they go on the recall list. We read the recall names out loud every month, and of course we have our follow-up procedure from there. It's the best you can do. And when you're great with the phone, and when you realize that it's our job to make sure people follow through and not their job, well, if they really care, they'll come and see us. No. It's our job to make sure they follow through, and we do it because we love them. We want to see them get the best results possible. And when you do that, I will promise you, your practice will grow.